Right, today's swing is a classic, what you would want to call over the top action, swinging heavily left, handle gets quite high by the looks of it as well, ball starts left, cutty action. So I'm going to deliver to you my 5 best drills that you can use indoors, outdoors, at the course, at the range, wherever, to try and deal with this obviously very reoccurring issue that we see with many golfers. I think a lot of you out there are going to relate to this one. Morning, y'all. Right, it's Friday. It's the last day before I travel. Actually, going on Sunday this week, Sunday evening. So I've got loads to do. Editing. Got to get some money, like exchange money. It's going to be a busy one. So yesterday's question about Jason Day is interesting. Obviously, the caddy question. It's one of those funny ones in golf that often gets ignored a bit, I think, because the skill is relevant to the player themselves. Do you know what I mean? It's personality-based, subject to the player caddying for. It's being able to handle situations. Obviously there's the basic learning the clubbing, learning what to say. It's about what to say really and what not to say often for a caddy, which is why they often just end up being like their mates a bit. Do you know what I mean? They're like, we've met lots of tour caddies and they're not exactly, they're 15 handicappers, some of them, who are just are prepared to travel the world. So that, this is one of the things, unless you caddy for one of the big players, it's a lot of travelling with a chance of earning not that much money and staying in some pretty average hotels and places as you go around. So it's a funny one. I think the caddy has this kind of romantic feel about it, but certainly on the European tour, it looks like a bit of a slob to me. So today's question, just a basic one. What loft do you have on your driver? And why have you ended up with that loft? So I get a lot of lessons who come to me and they've got a 10.5 loft. I ask them why. They hit it high or low. They have an opinion on how high or low they hit it, but they don't know why they've got that loft. And they certainly don't know if it's right or wrong for me, even after fittings half the time. What loft have you got on your driver and why? Down in that comment section below, hit the thumbs up button while you're down there. Don't be afraid to subscribe if you don't already. Drill number 1, trail shoulder rotation. So what does that mean? So basically we want your right shoulder, if you're a right-handed golfer, so your trail shoulder rotating, so going this way more. Lots of golfers want to keep it at this angle and turn. Not for everyone, but for lots of golfers, that's very good for stacking that shaft up on the way down, standing it up, what you call over the top, hitting from out to in kind of ideas. So example, if I don't rotate trail shoulder very well, I get this shoulder or elbow deep behind me, then downswing very easy to start stacking that club. Vice versa that, if I rotate trail shoulder, so literally I've pulled this club back, not by turning my shoulders as in this way, rotating them, I've just really rotated that trail shoulder more this way. Then from there, if I turn my shoulders, you're going to see it puts the club up in a very different position with this elbow tucked in a bit more. It makes much more sense from here to let that shaft lay down, opposed to here and here. So simple idea, what I just did there, just rotate that trail shoulder from the start and try a few shots. So standing upright, you can just rotate that shoulder as far as you can. So basically this way, but down at this angle, and put your left hand up towards it, so you're grabbing the club. Now from here, if you want to lean forward, take your golf posture and turn it up above your body. You're going to feel a very different backswing position in the rotation of this shoulder. You're going to feel it stretching down here. Then in turn, once you've done that, doing it with one hand works quite well. So rotate trail shoulder, golf posture, turn it above your body. Then from here, just feel that club dropping down behind you and out to the ball. For lots of golfers, this is almost a deal breaker. As in, you get this working, you change them. Their path changes just like instantly. So idea number 2, fence. Wall, windows, even like the side of the bay in the range would work up for this idea. You could even use like a tree out on the course if you were kind of desperate to get the feeling on the course. So I'm going to make my backswing where I just miss the wall. There's a bit of a tree in the way for mine, but I'm going to make a half backswing. So I'm not touching the wall on the way back. Now downswing, I'm going to try and lay that club onto the wall. Keep turning shoulders, keep turning body. Trying to keep that club on the wall till around kind of shoulder height with the club, and then spin it out to the ball. This just kills shaft pitch. It gives you the feeling of dropping it down. It just kind of nails it for so many golfers. Biggest trick is to make sure you don't do it by trying to get your hands to drop down, because you can see the shaft pitch stays the same, so you can still get that very leftward path. The trick is to feel like your hands are almost moving away from the wall, or the fence, or the tree, so slightly out to get that club onto it. As soon as it's on it, then just start pulling hands down into impact position while pitching that shaft, letting it go. You do this with students in lessons, it changes them like so quickly. If they can do it in front of a ball, that's always harder, and on the course that takes more time, but it gives them the feeling straight away if they're ever kind of lost in what it should feel like. This one does it. Great drill to do at home, at the range, even on the course in the right situations. Idea number 3, face the path. You'll be amazed how many golfers who struggle with outswing paths for years fix their path by simply moving the face in relationship to it. Euros and dollars got. So if we know wrist angles are so important, then you need to make sure you understand what yours are doing. So I did this with my daughter when she was learning, always hitting the ball right. So every shot she hit, she would deliver a face open to a path. The ball would start right and go further right. She struggled to hit the one straight. The only one she hit straight is when she had a heel, and that kind of saved it by starting a bit left. So I took her in the garden, no ball, and I said to her, if you make swings where you feel like your lead wrist, left wrist, is flat with your left arm, or even bowing, there's a good chance the ball will go left. I then said, if you make swings where you feel like your lead wrist is cupped or extended, basically an angle between left arm and wrist, there's a good chance your shots might go further right. And then I asked her to do a series of 2 or 3 practice swings showing me swings where she felt like she was flattening lead wrist and then when she was extending lead wrist. In the garden, not even hitting shots. We then played golf 3 or 4 days later on a course. First hole, I said to her, remind yourself where goes left with your wrist. And I said, then remind yourself where goes right. And she did a swing and she moved the wrist in a different way. And then we looked at the hole and I said, look, there's trouble up the left on this one. So just do your normal swing. If it's going to go wrong, it can go to the right. She hits it, goes to the right. Second shot, trouble on the right. I said to her, let's do the wrist now. Let's put it in. She hits it and it actually goes straight to even slightly left. She now is armed with some knowledge. So the drill, if you like, the kind of ideas you should be working on is trying to practice feeling your wrists in some different angles and see what it does to your shots. It's got to be this kind of dynamic feeling of your wrist. I will change the way I use my wrist to shape the ball on the course as I play, on the hop, you know, to move it under and over and around obstacles. It's a skill of the game, not only getting your wrist into a repeatable position, but also getting it maybe into a more awkward position when you want to hit more awkward shots. Wrist angles have a massive effect on the twists of the club. You need to understand what your wrist angles do. Now the reason you're not going to see just one wrist angle fix for everyone is because if lead hand starts in different positions, weaker Spieth grips to stronger Langer grips, then they're going to require different wrist positions to get the same result, which is why it's important that you practice your dynamic wrist changes, feels to change your shot shapes. Think flatter, bowed, more DJ'd, going left, more extended, going right, as your generalized rule, and then play within those parameters. So drill number 4, good old wall again. So I've just got the first putt of the cane to my hand, my putter in my hand, and I'm going to stand by this wall where the peak of my cap is maybe an inch away from the wall in golf setup. I'm then going to hold down the handle, so down the grip where the putter is literally just off the wall. From here I'm going to make a backswing, still trying to do all those drills, all those feelings of rotating the trail shoulder obviously. Now downswing is about trying to get the grip end of the putter on the wall, drag it along the wall until the putter gets to about your left leg, and then pull that putter grip towards you, letting that club spin out to where that imaginary ball just off the wall will be. This makes it very clear in your mind of that laying the shaft down angle, the contradiction of where the head in relationship to the hand path needs to go for you to control path and in turn dynamic lie. So if you're a shaft pitcher, if you're stacking that shaft up, you're going to see that this handle wants to move away from the wall very early, and actually the head wants to get quite close to the wall. So stacking is this way, laying down is going to throw that shaft end out to the grip end out to the wall, keep it going along the wall until it gets around your left, thigh, whip that handle in towards left thigh, which in turn lets that club move out. The more you're pulling your hand in as you hit the ball, the more you're going to be spinning that club out to the ball, and it will totally transform paths, directions of downswings. Downswings. Oh, Friday night! Yes, please! It is tennis night! Come on, stop raining. The last tip, idea, whatever you want to call it, I use it in my hobby, like you should be using it in yours. So you've got to use these ideas, these drills, in practice, but then in situation. And as I always say, you've got to then work out your patterns. So if I've got a drill, say with my serve, let's pretend I'm going to try and serve by turning my shoulders more to get more of a feeling of speed. I tend to get a bit of a sore left shoulder when I serve because I feel like I'm just snapping like from my arm. So if I turn my back more, so like a shoulder turn, I don't struggle with a poor shoulder, and I tend to hit better serves. But I hit some too flat and go too long. So I turn shoulders and I chuck the ball in a different place to try and put some different spins on it. Because at the end of the day, with all the best technique and all the best drills and all the best ideas of swing in the world, if you can't then translate them into a match for me, into a competition, into a game, into a social game, then they're useless. So it's that trying to get that serve in to start the game, so I'm not just out of the game straight away while using the drills, is actually the bigger skill than any of the other 4 drills almost. So in golf, let's pretend you're cutting the ball and you've got this swing that goes left like we're talking about today. I get a lot of my golf students trying to do these drills, but at the same time I make the goal, the game, that you've got to start the ball up the right. So I put things in the way up the left, I put targets in the way, hazards in the way, boxes in the way, anything to get them starting up the right, because they encourage this drill to make more sense. So actually using result-based games while you practice with these drills, so not being happy with a shot that hits target that doesn't start up the right because that's not going to complement your laying of the shaft or whatever it may be, need to be worked in to every good practice regime. If it's on the course, in a competition, and at the range, at home. Starting the ball, thinking about if it's turning through the air or not, all those things will really help these make a lot more sense in an environment that will allow you to actually use them, rather than them just be nicely produced fun drills on YouTube that help no one. I mean, there's plenty of them that get views, but I want you to get better. Right, I'm off to play tennis. Have a great weekend, everyone. I will see you on Monday, but I will be in Italy, so next week's uploads, we'll see what times. I don't think I can get into a time difference, plus busy filming days with lots of travel. So I will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Let me know what loft of driver you've got down there. Hit the thumbs up button, as always, on the daily vlogs. Let me know if you're liking them or not. And also, hit that subscribe button. It's free. There's loads more videos, and you just get notified every time I post one. That's only a good thing. Come on, I need to serve well tonight.